friends, welcome back to my channel. It is Sonia Miller here of Junk Monkey Paint Company, and I've got a question to answer for you guys. It's a question that I get over and over again, and that big question is to seal with poly or to seal with wax. And so in this video, I'm going to talk you through and try to help you determine whether or not what's going to be best for you based on the project that you're doing. Okay, so you guys know that we have our beautiful Monkey Shine. Can you see that on here? Our ever-loved Monkey Shine that you guys are all loving on right there. It's an all-natural beeswax oil polish. It is amazing and yummy, non-toxic, all-natural. Absolutely love it. A lot of times people stay away from wax, and for a long period of time I did as well, because I found waxes that were pasty, that would dry white. It smelled. I remember using waxes, and I've been a furniture painter for 10 years, that made me feel really weird in my head. I'm very, very sensitive. Listen, the strongest I take is Advil, okay? So I don't like using products that make me feel weird or fuzzy or just unlike myself. And so I steered away from waxes for a very, very long time. But now I'm pretty happy to be able to say that the Junk Monkey has their very own wax, okay? Monkey Shine. We love our wax, and it's designed so it does none of that, and it makes me so happy to be able to use it. The second thing that we have here to use as a sealer is our banana peel. So this is a water-based poly, and so now the question becomes, Sonia, okay, I'm learning how to paint, but how do you decide which to use, okay? So here is my rule of thumb. I just ask myself, what is this piece going to be used for? So in the background here, in the last day or so, I painted both these pieces behind me, and both are sealed with our Monkey Shine, with our wax. And it's really easy to use. The nice thing is, if you're somebody who's just starting out with the wax, you're gonna find it probably a little bit easier to use. You're waxing it on with our buffing brushes, and then you're taking it off as well with the buffing rags, okay? And those are on our website, okay? So you definitely want, if you're gonna be applying the wax, you're gonna want to get those pieces for yourself, okay? Because that kind of completes it. When you put on the poly, you put it on with a brush or a roller, but it's nice to use the wax, because if you ever feel like you just do a really bad job of, like, you know, maybe your brush strokes and you're practicing still right now, this is a great way it hides. There are no brush marks that's going to be left behind, right? But here's the thing, that's going to be fine. The wax is going to be fine for pieces that basically get less use. That's how I determine it. Is it high traffic, or is it something that looks pretty and it sits there? So as an example, the things that would fall on the high traffic side, you're talking like tabletops. Maybe you have a dresser that you put your makeup on every morning, and you get, you know, you get your blush all over it, so you're always wiping it off. Maybe you have lots of kids, you know, when that's their dresser, and they're always, you know, getting themselves dressed in the mornings, and so there's always little fingers all over it, that sort of thing. And then you have the other pieces over here that might be things like, you know what, you're not sitting things on them all the time. You're not having dinner over them all the time. There's just a lamp on them, okay? There's just a pretty sign on them, and it's there to look really nice, and it's not getting like a ton of traffic. And so maybe you have a dresser that's not getting the use like it did over here. Maybe there's a dresser here that you store your mail in, and you just open your drawers and you put your mail in your bins, or maybe it's used for a big old junk drawer, because yes, we have junk dressers now, right? We don't have just junk drawers to put all of your things in. So pieces like that are not going to get an extreme amount of use are definitely going to be pieces that you could steer towards the wax, and it's probably going to be much, much easier on you to be able to use it, and you'll probably be more happier with your piece. For poly, you just have to, you know, there are tips when it comes to poly. You're going to want to basically, when you put on your poly, you're going to want to go in light coats. You're going to want to use a very nice brush that's soft and flowy and helps eliminate brush marks. If you go to junkmonkeypaint.com, I have a little section called Sonia's Favorite Things, and I link over there my favorite brush that I love to use. It's an angled one. It has a nice soft, when you're holding it in your hands, just gives with you really, really nice to be able to control it better. It's over there, and you can find it as well. So you're going to want to go in light coats, okay? And you can sand between your coats if you want. That will also help eliminate any brush marks that you might get. But you're going to want to build it up. You're also going to want to watch making sure your drips are completely, you know, collected, because drips happen. Drips happen, junk happens, and drips happen, okay? And then, you know, you're gonna wanna make sure that everything is dry before you begin to use it fully. Like, so for example, things cure over, in general, 30 days. And so, especially with poly, because if things dry on the top and it's really pulling into your wood, because wood is like a sponge, you know, poly sometimes can be deceiving, because you start to, you know, put a glass on top of it, and before you know it, you've got a ring mark. It's because it fully hasn't cured just yet, right? Or you go to pull it off and it kind of like sticks to the top. So just be careful with with your poly, if you're going to be using that for things like the tabletops, that you make sure it's fully cured, fully dry before you begin to use it, right? But yeah, hopefully that helps. So if I'm doing something like, you know, a sign back here, we're not eating supper over my sign, okay? Things are not being pushed and pulled. It's not like a shelf where books are going in, coming out. Do you know what I'm saying? It's creating that friction, right? There's something going on here. Maybe it's a nightstand next to your child's bed, but you know what? He puts his glasses on there, like literally like sipping glasses on there because he has a glass of water. And always use coasters, guys. I had to tell you, I get this question too. When I have painted furniture, do I have to use a coaster? Yes, treat it like you would if you had new furniture, okay? You just did a new job on it. You did a new coat job, a new paint job on it, so protect it and make sure you're using coasters as well. You can totally DIY some cheap coasters. But you know, if they're always putting books and stacking things on it, putting the Legos on it, you know, and there's lots of things. Maybe they play. My son used to sit and kneel to his little, you know, nightstand next to his bed and play on there. So if there are things happening on that space, then go ahead and seal with the poly, okay? And I typically do 1 to 2 light coats. For something like a door, yes, you're gonna want a poly, right? Maybe I should have quizzed you guys on that. Would you wax a door or would you poly a door? You definitely would want to poly a door because it gets a lot of use. It opens, it closes every day. People push in different spots of it. There's rings on your fingers that are coming in contact with it. Your keys are swinging and maybe hitting the door, all that sort of stuff, because that is a piece that's getting a lot of use. These pieces behind me right here, I sealed with our monkey shine. You guys saw me do that live, right? This piece, the other cool thing about this piece is that because I did it in a distressed fashion, this is going to evolve naturally over time. So as wear and tear happens, just because life happens, it's definitely going to look more natural, right? So I just love how these come together and they just look pretty, right? So I didn't need to take it to poly, but if I could, I totally could. So at the end of the day, you want to think that everything you do before you seal, whether you seal with a wax or a poly, because yes, those are both sealers, those are just the options you pick to preserve your photo, okay? Think about it like you know, you create a photo, you set it all up. So that could be your paint, that could be your distressing, that could be your antiquing glaze. But when you get to the point where you actually snap the camera, or in your case, snap the sealer, then your piece is now preserved and sealed. So you want to do everything all the way up to it and then go ahead and seal. And like I said, just ask yourself that question. Is it high use? Or is it something that's just fun and beautiful and it's gonna hang on the wall and it's gonna look absolutely gorgeous, okay? So please make sure you subscribe to our channel. We upload every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. You never know what you're gonna find on here, whether it's your burning questions answered, whether it's DIYs, or whether we go junking and hauling and picking and having all kinds of fun here behind the scenes at the Jug Monkey. Thanks so much, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Give us a